We are live, it says. Okay. So,
Hello.
We're going to do a thing. This thing is
Big intro.
And when we get back, we'll explain the thing we're doing. So here's our big intro.
Hello and welcome to Breaking the Chains. My name is Jim Lujan. This is my co-host, Cory Kerr.
I'm Cory Kerr.
And
I'm just going to do this the whole time. Just a really creepy smile.
They're calling it the storm of the century.
Okay, so we are collaborating. We're going to make a short, and we are going to collaborate live. Jim's going to make stuff. I'm going to make some stuff, and we will talk about the things that we're making and what we need to do about that live. So the idea is, are we talking about doing this maybe once a week or just as needed?
Yes, to both.
Okay, so as needed. So stay tuned. But basically, if you want to know how to collaborate on an animation, this is how we do it. I don't know if this is how.
If you've ever thought of doing your own film,
yeah, this
will be a good example of from the ground up, because we don't have anything prepared except for a few storyboards right now and an idea right here where the gold is mustard, or the mustard is gold.
Yeah.
But we really are going to do this on the air, like discover, where we're going with this. We kind of have an idea, but Cory, if you would like to explain a little bit why we're doing this a little bit further,
because
I'd be interested.
I'm obsessed with sharing every possible thing I can about my process. It's like a compulsion at this point. So I thought I've seen some behind the scenes stuff and it's super polished and you wonder like how much of it is actually real. And then I've seen some very rare behind the scenes stuff that really feels like you're there. And I've learned so much on those rare ones where you can really, and so that's what I thought would be interesting is if anybody wants to know how to do this, like I don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah, and not a lot of talking about like theory or
we're
going to actually be doing stuff like trying out some animations and, like I said, from the storyboard up, right?
Yep. Okay, so Jim, you approached me and said, "Hey, I've got an idea. I like the way you animate. I want to do this thing to kind of have this short and shop it around and pitch it and see what's going on." And so why don't you talk about kind of the roles that you think both of us will play, and then we'll just jump in and start talking about the story.
Sure. So, for a long while, I've really admired your animation skills and the look of your stuff, the design. And I know it's very After Effects heavy. I've always forever known that my style looks really good in After Effects, even though I've done very, very little in After Effects. And you just have a real looseness and a really good feel for that software. So I said, well, you know what? Everything you do well, I don't do well. And some things that I do well, you might not do as well. So why not do the math? And we like each other. So
we'll see if we continue to like each other.
Just disintegrate on the air. No, but mathematically, this makes sense. This partnership makes the most sense because we cover all bases. And both of us are driven to complete projects. And actually, both of us are pretty fast at creating projects. So we won't dwell on something for 5 years and then have 5 seconds of animation.
Right.
And so that's kind of where it came from. Then the other half of it is I kind of thought about it and said, what's the furthest thing from Cory's wheelhouse that I could possibly select? I'm not going to select anything with nanobots. I'm not going to select anything with a revolution or technology. I'm not going to select anything with a corporation that's enslaving the minds of the consumers. What am I going to select? I'm going to select a story about a 5'5", 98-pound street fighting man, just shredded. A combination of Fred Schneider from the B-52s, Richard Simmons, and a pit bull. And his name is Unchained Wayne. And he is the star of a cartoon I did called Unchained Fists. So if you check that out, I think you'll dig it.
Yeah.
But working in the method that we're going to work in is very foreign to me, to a certain extent. And
you've done it a little bit. You've done it a little bit in different ways. You collaborated with Bill Plimpton.
Yeah, and a lot of that was done in After Effects too. But he drew that. I just designed it.
Oh, okay.
So it was his. But I've worked in that. I did a cartoon called Come to Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
That's in After Effects years and years ago, in the probably early, maybe 2000. I don't know, but I've just never gotten into After Effects because I'm happy with my method and I'm comfortable with my method. And this will get me out of my comfort zone. And eventually, maybe I'll jump into After Effects, or we make millions of dollars together on this, and we don't look back.
Right. So if you're watching this and you're like, "Hey, I would like that on my network and or streaming service," that's we're open to that.
So this right now is the most talking about something that you'll hear on this show. I promise you.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be a hands-on, get your hands dirty, get into the nitty-gritty. And this show will also be filled with spoilers because we're not trying to hide the story from you guys. We're going to show every aspect of the story and develop some stuff on the story. And hopefully each episode of this project will be, I was telling Cory, is maybe we can make it between 15 and 30 minutes long each. So we'll make them pretty short to the point. And these are actually going to be our working sessions here. So with that said, if I had music, I'd play it right now. But let's get started on the storyboard. This is a storyboard I created in After Effects. And actually, Cory, real quick, as we're showing this, we should probably explain what our expected roles are in this.
Right.
I guess I'm bringing, like I told Cory, my interest in this is I wanted to bring the story and some of the look, a big piece of the look of it. But what I would love to happen is be surprised with Cory's art direction and changes and things like that. That would be the most fun to me, to see something that let's do it this way. And then Cory goes, well, what if we do it this way? You know,
my role is to do everything I can to shoehorn some sort of cybernetic alien.
Yes. And at the end, it pulls out and then you're in a cyborg's eyeball.
You're in a snow globe on the desk of some sort of alien. Okay, so I'll be doing a lot of you're making the assets, I'm animating it, you're writing the dialogue, we're both kind of helping out with the story. But basically, the story's coming from you, and then I'm kind of making suggestions. That's kind of the
absolutely. And you're co-art directing it with me. So, so if there's a lawsuit, you're going to have to go to court with me. So, all right. So let's get started, shall we? This is. Can we zoom in on the first? Does this have the ability to zoom?
It does. We have the technology.
Wonderful. All right. This is probably the extent of what I normally, when I storyboard something, I do it this way. I don't really write the lines out line for line because usually I'm doing a lot of the lines myself, or if I'm using friends and having people do voices for me, I'll send them their lines, in a traditional.
Just saying, you're getting a vote for cybernetic aliens here.
This is a shot of them, as cybernetic aliens drinking beer. So. Here, Cory, Cory's seeing this, really looking at this probably for the first time. I mean, I sent it to you, but this is probably your first deep dive into
it. I went through it, and I've got some questions. But so let's stop talking about it. Because we've only got 20 minutes.
Let's do it.
So let's do our thing. So in this shot, this is an establishing shot. You're starting some beers on the table. Now, when you say crowd lively, are we talking like dancing?
No, this will be. I'm picturing the music in the
Table
background.
hanging
This is
out.
kind of a burnout bar.
Okay.
I'm thinking this is going to take place in. See, Unchained Wayne's from Tucson, so I'm thinking this isn't. I don't want this to be a California story. I think I'm going to make it maybe like San Antonio, Texas, or something.
Okay.
I don't know, somewhere. We'll figure, or Florida. We'll figure it out.
Okay. So are we doing like maybe a small group of people in giant cowboy hats line dancing back and forth?
No. Like more of a biker, more of a like the after party of a Styx concert. So that crowd.
How old are you?
I'm very old. No, I'm meaning a Styx concert now. I'm talking like that crowd, like an older,
I got you.
But like
the free stage at the Mid-State Fair, and then they spill over into this bar.
Yes, there you go.
Okay.
So yeah, and there's some troublemakers, and I'm definitely gonna play with the lighting a little bit. I don't know how, and maybe that's something we can look at together. But I definitely want the crowd lit. I want the crowd lit. But I had talked to you early on about the beer bottles. So
what I'm thinking is, if you had kind of like a beer bottle in the foreground, maybe even kind of cut off, then you could have people walking, and they could distort. So you'd have like a normal person, and then they would get like all weird and wonky, so normal, and then like all drippy and distorted as they passed through the bottle.
Yeah.
So I think I could do some sort of diffusion map warp situation that we wouldn't have to draw this frame by frame. They could just pass through it, and it would like liquefy them as they pass through it.
Yeah, I like that. And that's where the editing comes in, because you've seen cartoons before where something happens and that you can almost like they telegraph it, like, look at this effect, and they spend a long time on the effect. I think giving the audience less than they want is better than giving them more than they want. I mean, if that makes any sense.
Right.
But yeah, I got it. Like, yeah, the timing of it will be.
And I mean, is this like a candle?
I think it was a shot glass or a candle, either whatever. Because a candle would be good. Yeah.
So I'm thinking in this scene, if we had some parallax and a shallow depth of field, that could be kind of interesting. So that this background, they could all be a little bit blurred out, so they look like they're farther away.
Yeah.
Right. And then it could come into focus a little bit. Anybody who passed into this bottle, because the bottle is actually up close.
I like the candle.
And then have a candle with a little bit of smoke and nothing really else. So there'll be movement back here, but it'll be blurred.
Is it possible to do a little flicker on the bottles from the candles too?
Yeah.
A little warmth from it.
Right. So we could do that one of two ways. Either I could just have a low opacity reflection. I'm going to change colors because it's all red. I could have like a low opacity reflection of the candle here. Or if you just give me a layer on this of what the bottle would look like if it was lit up.
Okay,
I could just flicker the opacity of that layer.
We could try it both ways. I'll give you that layer, and if it looks lame, then you can do the other way.
Okay.
But I like that. And then these bottles should be on their own elements in case they get shaken around in the next. If you jump to the next.
Yeah. So each one of these would be on its own layer. The other thing that I think would be interesting is maybe you do the entire table. So we have a light source right here, and that's going to cast. Each one of these is going to cast a shadow, and be lit. And so if you give me one layer that's shadows and one layer that's lighting, then the whole table would have kind of that ambiance of that light flickering, and I could just jiggle all the shadows just a little bit as that light whips back and forth.
Okay.
Increase and decrease the opacity of the lighting layer, and then nothing else. So it's just kind of an establishing shot, a little bit of movement in the crowd in the background. Most of, I think, what we'll be experiencing is probably the audio of like the low tones of dialogue and bar sounds and clinking glasses.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So then in the next shot, this guy
that's where the shot glass gets slammed down, as if somebody, like in Indiana Jones or Raiders, and they still slam the shot glass down. So somebody's just, and we're joining this, like it says here, mid conversation.
Yeah.
So, there's not really a lot of build up to it. Like, oh, look at he's drinking the shot. It'll just be like he's just somebody's just slammed a shot down.
And so
the models
in your mind, this is the same shot. So we haven't cut to a different camera angle or anything, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so when he slams this down, these bottles kind of jiggle and move out of the way, and maybe the table shakes a little bit.
Yeah. And I wanted to bring something up to you. You might kill me for this, but I don't know yet. I was thinking, I'm wondering if we should open with an exterior shot of the bar.
Sure.
And I'll do that. And we could have people walking around, and there could be a couple of motorcycles or
do like a
van.
Like a Home Alone thing where you have like silhouettes in the windows kind of passing back and forth.
I think it's creepier if you can't see in the bar, because where they don't have windows, you could maybe a door's cracked and you could see some lights.
Yeah.
Pouring out of there.
If we had a door cracked, we wouldn't even see anything. We could just have the light be interrupted as people kind of walk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the muffled sound. I'm really pretty good with the audio, so I think that would look really nice. And I could just see the night sky, like maybe a sunset or something.
So we could do that one of two ways. One way is you can actually put a light inside of a scene in After Effects, and it'll broadcast light. And then I can move something in front of it so there would actually light. In that case, you'd need like the bar is one layer with the door cut out of it, and then I put the light behind that, and then we could move stuff in front of it. The other way is you just draw the light, and I just turn it on or off.
Okay.
One way would look a lot more like mine, and one way would look a lot more like yours.
Let's see how it goes. We'll know with this the opening candle shot and all that stuff will tell a lot. I'm thinking maybe even the opening candle shot can maybe be a slow pullback from the candle on the table.
Yeah. I mean, if you
we'll
do
experiment with that though.
If you do that, you can also get a lot of parallax. So I could separate that out in Z space, and the camera could kind of pull back and up a little bit, and that'll give you a lot of that kind of depth. And it doesn't have to pull back very far, maybe just 6 inches or something, just so that stuff kind of moves just a little bit.
Yeah. Timing's everything in animation. You know that. I mean,
right.
I learned that when I was trying to do the first After Effects thing I did, because everything you could tell was like, watch this shot. Now watch this shot. Yeah. So
okay,
let's jump to the nitty-gritty.
We could also do that with the opening shot of the exterior. If you wanted to have like a row of bikes, and maybe we start from across the street, and there's like a couple cars and a bike that kind of goes across the freeway. We could do kind of a push in.
Yeah.
And then just have a fixed camera on the table.
Oh, that looks good too. Yeah, that would be. I'm kind of leaning towards that maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, that might be good.
So let's do that. So let's start with parallax, kind of slow zoom in shot on the exterior, fixed camera on the interior. So this.
By the way, for the viewers, if anybody out there watching this has a favorite, really seedy looking exterior shot of a local dive bar, send me a link or put a link in the chat here or in the whatever, the YouTube chat or Facebook chat or whatever. And maybe I'll use it, and I'll rename it, but I'll use it because I know there's lots of those. But it has to be an exterior shot, kind of, at least like, 20 feet away so we could see the street and stuff. And
there's no possible way we're going to be able to get these meetings done in 30 minutes.
No. Okay. Let's jump to the next thing.
So, you keep.
Yeah, I know. We're
going to explain that timing is everything. Okay.
You know what we'll do?
Yeah.
We'll cut it off at 30 minutes. Like we'll just say, even if we're not done with something, we'll continue, because then it'll give us stuff to work on in the intro.
So we have less than 11 minutes to go.
Okay, this episode will cheat a little bit. Let's go about 15 minutes, and then we're done.
Okay, sounds good. So from this shot to this shot, this makes sense to me, right? But I'm wondering if I look at all of this, I feel like you've gone from like giving me kind of motion shot by shot to like major milestones or highlights in the story, but not shot by shot anymore. So in my mind, I feel like we need more boards to understand what's happening in between all of these milestones.
So I'm thinking, Well, what explain that a little bit more, because I'm not sure.
Okay, so I understand. Let me change colors to yellow here. I should just get a new layer out, but I'm lazy. So I understand what's going on here, right? This is a shot. I can't draw on the screen. We've got an exterior shot before this. Then this is one shot, and then we cut to this guy talking, and then we cut to an over the shoulder, and then we cut back. So that all makes sense. But I don't know how much conversation we're having here. So I don't know if it's these three shots, or if I need, because the way I do it is I would frame this up, and then I'd put like 4 cameras on it, and I would export it at 4 different camera shots. Maybe 1 or 2 of them would move, and then in editing I would come back and I'd cut it up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like if he's going on and it's really long and the audience needs something different to look at, I would cut to a different camera angle.
Well, here's what I'm picturing. I'm picturing, the minute the shot glass goes down, there's like a woo, and then this guy that we're calling Jock Bro.
Wait, hold on. What was
so
that?
As the shot glass is being put down, we're hearing his exclamation, like "yeah" or whatever.
So he's speaking. Gotcha.
Yeah, he's speaking, and then he is just continuing a conversation. Well, I haven't written the script for it yet, but he's continuing a conversation about, like blah blah blah. Yeah, man, you know what I'm talking about. And then cut to the 4th panel, the reaction shot of the girls who are not impressed, and you can tell that he's been there a little bit too long and he's a little bit too drunk, and they're just like they're looking at him like, okay, whatever, and then we'll jump to the next panel, because
are they at the table with him?
Yeah, they're sitting down, he's standing up, he's visiting them at the table.
So I wonder if in this shot we need to establish some of that, like, maybe there's a hand next to like a purse or something.
Gotcha. That's a good idea. Yeah.
Because that
one of the girl's shoulders or something.
Yeah. That way, and maybe it'd probably be this girl, since that would be the right angle. Yeah. Maybe he has like a recognizable bracelet or something, so that we just have enough continuity to know that we haven't jumped to a different table and that this conversation is happening.
Right. Well, I like, maybe we show the girl's shoulder, the girl in yellow, her shoulder, a little bit. And so something that ties it together like that. I agree.
Well, if it's the girl in yellow, then we would also see these other 2. Let's map this out.
The way they're sitting. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me just add a.
All right. So if we were to flip it, then we'd have the other girl.
So if our table's like this, we've got our Jim Bro guy here. We've got 3 girls here at a top down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our first shot basically comes in like this, and we have some bottles. He slams this down like that. So we would just see girl number 3, unless you want to have all 3 of them in that opening shot, which I don't think we should.
No.
So
we'll just see the arm of the girl number 3.
So the next shot, we're actually pointing this direction at him.
Yeah.
Unless he's kind of facing this way, in which we could sort of do that and catch her shoulder. But if we do this, we could put them in a little bit in the foreground. Maybe since they're sitting and he's standing, the tops of their heads or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, go back to the shot I have. I kind of put their tops of their heads in there.
Okay. I get it. That's what.
And we could play with that. They could be more, or it could be more pronounced.
Yeah. So if it's more like something like that,
mm-hmm.
and he's kind of framed, I feel like that would help, because I was a little bit lost. I felt like there's a disconnection. Now I'm getting it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's see. So this shot, and again, at this point, we're not paying so much attention to the dialogue unless it's super important, just more the spirit of it. So these girls are you see that they're being kind of tortured. Again, we're going to probably show girl number 3 on that shot. Is that right? Oh, wait, let me see. No, we're showing all 3. That's the shot.
Yeah.
Okay, so now
when the
girls are going to say something like, that's just basically like, all right, whatever, dude,
Are they going to? do something physically to also show that they're not interested, or is it just saying that?
I'm gonna want to have some kind of gestures. Like I got to figure out what they're gonna do. I had the girl. I had the girl. She's not on the phone. She's supposed to be going like this, but they're gonna be just like, like that.
Okay.
I'll figure out some kind of acting there.
Yeah, if you give me eyebrows, separate on separate layers.
Yeah, I like that.
I
Eyeballs.
can manipulate them, and then give me like eyelids.
Yeah.
And then a full eye, and then a pupil. All of those separate. We can get some kind of scowling, squinting with some darting eye movements.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. We figured that out on one face. We'll be able to figure that on all. Because right now, what I do is that I'll have an eyeball and then I add blinks over it, and I don't even really mess with the eyebrows too much. But yeah, this one will have definitely more expressions. And then this girl has glasses too. So
yeah,
I don't know if we want
to. We could have Jim Bro kind of reflected in
I was thinking that, yeah.
Yeah,
Jim Bro. Jock Bro.
Jock Bro. Is there a difference?
I'm Jim Bro.
Oh, you're Jim Bro. Gotcha. Okay, so we have Jock Bro kind of reflected here. And honestly, we could probably just use this shot again. We wouldn't need to make anything new. I'll just put that right there, lower the opacity of it so we can see her eyes through it, and he'll be basically doing the same thing, and he'll be small enough that we don't need to worry about it.
Sweet. How are we doing on time? And I should have had a timer.
We've got 4 minutes.
All right, excellent. So what we'll probably do is we'll just, like, each episode at first we'll break down just a few, like 6 of the panels probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's jump to the next one, and this will be our last one because we got our work cut out for us, fellas. All right, so this is just an establishing shot, and he's got 2 friends with him too.
I love how, as I'm going through the storyboard, people keep appearing. Now there's 3.
Well, yeah, somehow in the other shot, we're going to have the bro friends.
All right, so let's go back to this. So he actually has people that are with him.
Yeah, are they on that side or the other side though?
The way you had them was right here.
To his right, I guess so. You're right.
But we can do whatever we want with it.
Yeah. Now, and the reason why I didn't put in the other shot, I didn't put a guy on each side of him is because they would block out the girls.
So what if they instead of being here, what if they're kind of like behind?
That's what I have. Yeah, that's kind of how I was
like,
yeah. They're just as dopey, henchmen guys. And I like that. I like the layout of the. You know what? That's what I should have done. Come up with a layout of the bar. That's really cool.
It's really helpful because I set up a lot of stuff in 2.5D. So here's your bar, right? With there's the bartender, and then I'm assuming there's tables, and this is where we saw the crowd of people dancing.
That could be like a dance floor that's not being used. They're just kind of like hanging out, walking around on it.
Right.
With some stand-up tables, maybe something like that.
And so, is our entrance to the bar like here?
I'd say
this is my
not right there. Maybe
is our entrance to the bar like here?
Oh wow! I'd say, you hear that echo?
This is
on my iPad magically.
I've taken over your iPad.
What the heck? That must be our alarm telling us it's time to go.
I've taken over your iPad.
That must be our alarm. I'm just going to listen to our show.
Yeah, that is a 10-second delay. Because this is another thing that we could do is if we had a shot into the bar, that could be one of our establishing shots. Like anyway, if I just know
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
That could be kind of useful. And we could also, let's see. So basically, our line of action, I'm going to do in blue here, is right now is like, why did that go white? Is right there. So we've swung the camera around here. So as long as we don't cross that and come over to this other side, everything still should make sense.
Yeah. Okay.
At least during this conversation.
Yeah. So I like the idea of the opening shot. I'll send you a still or a design of that. and I like because I can kind of see the colors in my head of the sky and everything and the buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
And the title card of whatever city it is. And I like the atmosphere that it builds up with a stagnant shot of the table and the action happening around it.
Could we have instead of so in our exterior in our shot, our opening shot, we have like the bar like this,
Mm-hmm.
and it could be kind of head on. You know, we've got these are motorcycles. You know, we have like the road. We could have like part of a billboard that just said "Welcome to whatever town."
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do the title card or whatever, or you know, the sign up here could say,
or it could say like El Paso used cars or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, Paul. I'm going to call it El Paso, Texas.
So we could do some sort of signage on the outside, and maybe even have like really bad, somewhat broken neon, kind of like.
Yeah, I like that.
So that way we could kind of.
And then we'd have cars zipping by, kind of, or riding by in the foreground. A couple.
Right. So we'll have some cars going back and forth.
So it's not a super busy street, but it's also not a dirt road town.
We could have a gag at the beginning. Could you have like an old man on a bicycle, and he makes it like a third of the way through, and the car whips by, and he's just like gone. Like
I like the idea of the old man on the bicycle. I don't like the idea of me having him pedal.
You won't have to have him pedal. You'll just have to make sure his feet, lower legs, upper legs, torso are separate layers. I'm the one who has to make him pedal.
I know. Let's play that by ear. Yeah. Okay. Let's play that. But
it could also be one of those funny gags where we're 2 minutes over now, by the way. It could also be one of those funny gags where it just takes him forever because he's so slow and he's kind of wobbly, and the shot just takes too long.
Yeah, I like the idea of like a weird dude on a bike, just teetering along.
He could be like mumbling to himself.
I think it'll be such a quick shot that and there's so much other stuff going on, like ambience. I don't know if you'd be able to hear anybody talking really, or I don't know. We could try it.
Well, but I mean, we're outside in the middle of the desert, though.
Sort of. El Paso's not really like a desert. It's like a city. It's a city.
Okay.
But I like the idea of having something where it says El Paso something, and blah blah blah. Like you can kind of tell where it's at. Then we don't have to put a title card. So, all right. Well, people, we said we're going to keep it kind of short. We are. So the next time we get together, I'll share with you some of the artwork that's been created. Probably will only be a shot or two, and I'll start getting these elements to Cory, and I'm going to finish storyboarding some of it as well. It's not going to be Hamlet, but it will be pretty good.
So what do you want to work on specifically? Are you going to do like Are you going to do this shot here?
For sure that, that, and the opening. I'll get you the opening.
Okay.
So the first thing maybe we can show being animated, maybe is that opening shot when I get that to you.
Yeah. So get that to me. If you've got the guy on the bike, any part that moves needs to be a separate layer.
Yes.
And maybe next time we can talk about that, because I can show you how to draw it specifically so it doesn't look super weird when they bend.
Yeah, for sure. That would be great. Online or on?
Yeah, I can show you here.
Okay, sounds good. Well, these are great. We don't know how often we're going to do these, but we're going to keep them half an hour, so we will go. And I'm next, like I said, my homework is going to be I'm going to finish storyboarding. I'm at where a fight scene begins, and I'm going to storyboard up to where the fight scene transitions to somewhere else. It becomes a fight later, but. So there'll be probably another page of storyboards. And then I'm going to also do that opening shot. And then we'll really concentrate on the opening shot. That'll be the first thing we animate, if that's cool with you.
And that's fine. And I got to tell you, I'm really excited to animate this guy's mouth because of the way you drew it right here. Oops. The layer's hidden. The way that you drew it right here, I'm imagining he just has fixed teeth, right? And then his mouth just flaps around his teeth, like his teeth, his top teeth and his bottom teeth and his tongue never move. He just has this gaping, flapping mouth hole.
I like that.
I think it'll look really good. So I'm excited to.
So Cory, also with this, one of the secret weapons we have with this is that you're also a fantastic artist too. So if you have an idea for something that I can't pinpoint it, I mean, go for it. Like especially anything to do with lip sync. I love lip sync.
Oh yeah.
So, all right. So fans, people, viewers, if you guys want to send me or post a link to a local bar, remember it has to be an exterior shot. I'll look through them in the next 24 hours. If we don't get anything in the next 24 hours, I'm gonna make something up or find something else. And you're changing moods.
Yeah, this is just what I do to be distracted.
Are you shape-shifting again, Cory? I told you, not on the air. It's embarrassing.
Okay, so that's it. That's our.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Pass this around. Future episodes will be just art, not us talking about it. It'll be just us doing it. So.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Cory.
No problem. So if you guys are interested in sticking around, I have a thing. I'll be posting it here. Let's see. Where is that?
And let's break those chains of animation.
Yeah. But if you go to corykerr.com/online, there's a little Slack group where I'll post a link in case subscribing or whatever. If you want it, if you're like super interested and you want to be part of the live thing, you can just jump into that Slack group and I'll try to give everybody as much heads up as I have. So
we'll try to do this once a week, at least. Maybe a couple times if we're on a roll.
Yep. Cool. Okay. Thanks, everybody in the chat. And I'll be going live in a few minutes on Art Check. And other than that, we'll see you guys at some point in time, at least once a week.
Awesome.
Should we play this again one more time?
Yeah.
Apparently, I needed to turn a bunch of stuff off before I turned that on. Okay, we'll catch you guys later.